Today we're going to share a terrifying story that will make you question what's real and what's not. It's called The Lost Tape. In the early 2000s, a group of thrill-seeking friends stumbled upon an ancient VHS tape while exploring an abandoned Eerie mansion on the outskirts of town. The mansion, cloaked in ivy, had a sinister air, with its broken gates and the constant cawing of crows echoing through the dense fog that surrounded it. As they pushed through the rusty gates, a chill ran down their spines, the wind whispering warnings they chose to ignore. The house itself looked like it hadn't seen life in decades. The paint was peeling off the walls, and the once grand staircase was now just a creaky hazard. They found the tape in a dusty library filled with cobweb-laden shelves, where old books whispered secrets of the past. The tape was hidden underneath a pile of ancient newspapers, its label, The Lost Tape, handwritten and barely legible. It seemed almost as if the tape was waiting for them, placed years ago for someone brave enough to discover its contents. As night fell, they set up a portable VCR player with a small TV they had brought along, the screen flickering in the dim light of the candles they lit, the only source of warmth in the cold, musty air. With bated breath they watched as grainy images began to flicker on screen, showing scenes of the very house they were in, but years ago when it was still vibrant and alive. But soon, the scenes shifted to darker, more disturbing images that seemed impossible, surreal, and yet terrifyingly real. The air grew colder, a sense of dread settling over them as the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They realized too late that the tape was more than just a relic of the past. It was a warning, a portal to something they should have never awakened. Curious, they decided to play it, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. As they watched, they saw footage of an abandoned asylum, its decaying halls and crumbling walls a testament to the unspeakable atrocities that had taken place within. The video revealed how nature had begun reclaiming the desolate structure. Vines crawled up the facade, prying bricks apart with relentless, silent force. Moss carpeted the once sterile floors, making each step a soft whisper against the echoing emptiness. The group of friends, young and curious, entered through a creaking iron gate that protested with every push. Their initial laughter, bright and disbelieving, bounced off walls that hadn't heard human sounds in decades. The camera, shaky in the hands of the most daring among them, panned across rooms littered with forgotten medical tools and faded, peeling paint that made the walls look like they were bleeding rust. As they ventured deeper, their shadows stretched and twisted by the weak beams of their flashlights. The reality of where they were began to sink in. The laughter lessened, their voices hushed to whispers as if afraid to wake the ghosts rumored to roam the long, narrow corridors. Their lights flickered over closed doors with names and dates scratched into the wood, remnants of past patients whose stories were lost to time. Suddenly, a door slammed shut behind them, severing their retreat. Startled screams were quickly stifled as the group pressed forward, the air growing colder with each step. Another door slammed, then another, as if an unseen force was herding them deeper into the asylum's heart. Whispers began to weave around them, soft and insidious, calling their names with a familiarity that froze their blood. Each mention was more chilling than the last, a chorus of disembodied voices that seemed to seep from the very walls. They held their breath, the only sound now the beating of their own hearts and the distant, relentless slamming. The atmosphere was an entity unto itself, thick with the presence of the past and heavy with the echo of old, anguished spirits. The friends moved closer together, their earlier bravado replaced by a primal fear as they realized they were not merely visitors here, but trespassers in a domain that jealously guarded its secrets. The eerie whispers of their names floated through the air, each mention more chilling than the last. The sound sent chills down their spines. The footage became more distorted and unsettling as the group continued to explore. Their torchlights flickered over walls lined with decaying medical instruments, each corner revealing remnants of a grim past. The air felt thick as they moved deeper into the abandoned hospital, with the faint smell of antiseptic still lingering. Echoes of their footsteps mingled with the distant, unidentifiable noises, heightening the eerie atmosphere. As they ventured further, the walls seemed to close in around them, the shadows growing longer and more menacing. Although no words were spoken, each member felt a growing sense of dread, unable to shake the feeling that they were not alone. Every so often, a cold draft would sweep through the corridors, causing their skin to prickle with goosebumps. The beams from their torchlights occasionally illuminated faded murals, peeling off the walls, and old stained stretchers abandoned in the corridors. Was a snapshot of decay filled with crumbling furniture and scattered papers, a ghostly imprint of its former self. Suddenly, a dusty patient file marked "Patient caught their eye," escalating the tension. As they flipped through the yellowed pages, they found unsettling notes and observations written in rushed handwriting, hinting at experiments and treatments that were far from ordinary. The silence was broken by a soft thud in the distance, causing them to jump. Whispers seemed to echo through the empty halls, growing louder, then softer, as if playing a cruel game of hide-and-seek. To maintain their composure, they pressed on, but it was clear that fear had taken hold. Each shadow seemed to move just a fraction, enough to make them question their eyesight. Then, the unthinkable happened. One by one, the group members vanished, shrouded in mystery, never to be seen again. The last surviving member, Sarah, was left to face the horrors alone. Delving into the asylum's chilling history, she learned it was the site of gruesome experiments. Central to these was Patient 13, whose mysterious past was integral to solving the puzzle. As Sarah unraveled the secrets, the asylum's corridors seemed to morph, trapping her within its deceptive grasp. Eerie whispers filled the air, escalating into screams that echoed off the walls. Despite feeling isolated, Sarah sensed the presence of spirits tormented souls of former patients, now both her guides and tormentors. They pushed her towards the dark truth, their voices intensifying around her. Each step Sarah took was heavy with the weight of the unknown, her flashlight barely piercing the oppressive darkness that enveloped her. The walls, stained with the echoes of agony, seemed to close in as she delved deeper into the heart of the asylum. She stumbled upon old medical records, tattered and faded, that spoke of unspeakable treatments and trials conducted under the guise of science. Through these fragmented documents, Sarah pieced together the story of Patient 13. A child, innocent yet subjected to the cruelest fates by a mad doctor whose obsession with the afterlife transcended ethical bounds. It became clear that these anguished souls, their unfinished stories woven into the decaying fabric of the building. Turning a corner, Sarah entered what appeared to be an old operating theater. Instruments of torture lay scattered, rusted and blood-stained, relics of a time when pain prescription. The air grew colder, her breath visible in the ghostly light. Shadows danced along the walls, forming shapes that seemed almost human, flickering in and out of existence. As she approached the center of the room, the whispers crescendoed into a cacophony of cries, the spirits swirling around her, desperate for acknowledgement and release. But she was not alone. The vengeful spirits of the former patients were closing in on her, their whispers growing. In the end, Sarah was never seen again. The lost tape, a chilling evidence of their frightful ordeal, continues to ignite fear with its haunting content. Legend holds that the screams of Sarah and glimpses of vengeful spirits can be witnessed by playing the tape at midnight during a new moon. Many believe the tape itself harbors a curse, plaguing viewers with unending nightmares of the asylum's dark corridors and the echoes of eerie footsteps. The story of Sarah and her friends began as a curious adventure into the abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town, rumored to be haunted by the patients who once resided there. Armed with nothing but a camcorder and a sense of thrill, they documented every chilling moment of their journey, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. As they delved deeper into the bowels of the asylum, the atmosphere thickened, the air grew colder, and their fates became increasingly uncertain. Whispers in the shadows hinted at the presence of something sinister lurking just beyond the reach of their flashlights. Each room they entered seemed to hold its own tale of despair, the walls themselves groaning under the weight of untold stories. In one particularly gruesome room, the camcorder picked up what appeared to be faint apparitions flitting across the screen and vanishing before anyone could fully comprehend what they had seen. These fleeting ghostly images added layers of dread to their already harrowing experience. As the night progressed, the group encountered inexplicable phenomena, objects moving of their own accord, chilling drafts that appeared from nowhere, and sudden sharp noises that broke the oppressive silence. The crescendo of their fear was captured on the tape, their final screams a testament to the terror they experienced, which has since become the core of the asylum's haunted reputation. What truly befell Sarah and her companions remains an enigma. Was their experience genuine terror, or merely a sinister prank? While the lost tape offers clues, its full truth is securely hidden, hinting that some mysteries are best left unsolved. For those daring to uncover the truth, watching the lost tape is an invitation to the unknown. But be warned, once you see it, there's no going back. The horrors of the asylum will haunt,